Welcome into Gamesthetic, episode 214. I'm Alex Light with Sparky3. Hope you're having a phenomenal day today, whatever day you are watching or listening to this show. I got both the boys here. Zach, buddy, how you doing?
Good. Joe Hendry got done dirty.
That was the perfect spot for him.
I mean, it was a good spot. But
Yeah. You know,
I just realized we haven't talked about this at all.
No, we really haven't. We haven't had a chance to talk about it in the slightest. But no, that was for newer WWE fans. They don't realize how big of a deal that was.
Oh,
that
it
the
was
TNA champion was at WrestleMania.
Oh, it was a fantastic spot. And it's funny because the only thing I really know about was some of the clips and then just one of the watching Randy's face of him just going, which said the moment Randy believed and when he sees Joe Hendry's first like that, then he hears the entire stadium singing Joe Hendry's like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, he's like, all right, nice. Yeah, shout out to WrestleMania 41. Overall, I'd say at least a fine show.
Overall, a fine show with a couple very standout moments.
Yeah, exactly. So we were on a break last weekend to enjoy that. Hopefully we can try to talk about it at some point. But today is an exciting day for Gamesthetic. We're going to talk about Expedition 33 that came out this week.
I thought we were going to spend the whole time talking about Oblivion.
No.
I came unprepared.
I mean, I came prepared for both, so.
Okay, all right. See, I'm also prepared for both. I'm sorry that you're only prepared for Oblivion. Yeah, I'm glad that you jumped into Oblivion.
I think I downloaded it.
You downloaded it. All right,
I was about
that's a start.
to say, this was your first time playing Oblivion, right?
I haven't actually played it yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it will be your first time playing Oblivion, yes?
First time actually playing it.
Okay.
I've played it for maybe an hour before.
Okay, I was thinking your main Elder Scrolls was Skyrim, and you never really touched Oblivion a whole lot.
Yeah, that's because like around when I finally got my Xbox was leading into Skyrim.
Right. Which that also goes the same for our buddy Josh. This is his first time playing Oblivion, and immediately he gets in and he's just like blown away by like the level of depth of certain things that Oblivion has.
Yeah, and the fact that it's pretty much just a re-up because they kept all the stupid crap from Oblivion in the game still.
I know, because one of my favorite things, they kept the one dialogue from, it was a high elf character.
Yep, I saw this.
Yeah, where she said the entire line, and then like the voice actress like kind of whispers, wait, no, let me do that one again, and says the same line again.
Just without
it's
being
still in the game. That's awesome.
Oh, one of the old highwaymen, like his thing's still in there where he comes up and he's just like, Give me 100 coins.
Yeah.
And you can just, when he turns around, if you give the coins to him, you can just sneak, pickpocket it, take it back, and he goes, it's not worth it to me. And he keeps walking off.
I love the goofiness, man, of Oblivion. I'm glad they kept all of it in.
They did take out some of the cheese stuff, but we'll get into that when we get to Oblivion.
Yeah, well, shout out to Oblivion Remaster. Basically a remake. We'll talk about that. The Switch 2 pre-orders happened this week. We've got some Digimon Time Stranger news. Ghost of Yotei has got a release date. Got a few things to touch on. If you could, though, if you want to support us further, check out the Patreon. We'd appreciate that extra support, as well as join the Discord, be a friend, tell a friend. Boys, before we get into Expedition 33, anything you want to shout out?
ZZZ's 1.7 came out, finishing up what they're calling Season 1 of Zenless. Overall, interesting end to our initial story for the past year. Definitely going to be more curious going into Season 2 is what they're going to be calling it. New zone, new factions, a whole lot of stuff.
I'm trying to figure out where you find the goddamn time. You came in here and told us how much time you have in Expedition, but every time I looked at Discord, you're playing Honkai.
Yeah, Honkai or Zenless.
And I'm sitting over there, I'm like, dude, it's playing 3 games at once right
Yeah,
now.
I was on vacation.
Ultimate multitasking.
I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, I'm having a hard time concentrating on one game right now.
I mean, the Zenless and Star Rail are easy just because I'm mostly caught up on those. So, I mean, I literally just take a day and do whatever content just came out. Then I log in like first thing in the morning for like maybe a couple hours, do some dailies, and then dip. Mm-hmm. Oblivion is a rehash for me since I played through the original Oblivion.
Yeah.
So it's literally me just doing a stupid build that I never did before in the original Oblivion.
Right. And just kind of enjoying it every once in a while kind of thing.
The Oblivion is on the back burner. I might get to it in about a month.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. There's a lot of other things going on.
I've got a lot of stuff on my plate right now.
And unless you're in like a massive Elder Scrolls mood, I understand not wanting to jump into it, because it is an old game, right?
Yeah.
Like if it was like Elder Scrolls 6, I feel like it'd be a different story. But since it's just Oblivion Remake, you're like, yeah, you're gonna get to it. It's just get to it in a little bit.
It's sort of funny because people were talking about just because I saw something in the meme of people being of. Oh, Oblivion came back out before GTA 6.
Yeah.
Nice. And I saw a thread about it, or not necessarily a thread, but a video of someone I watched and more or less them saying, oh, this is my first time to play Oblivion and whatnot, and things like that. And then someone mentions, like, for some reason got onto a conversation about GTA 6, and then someone asked like, "So what are we gonna ask whenever we actually get GTA 6?" And everyone's like, "Oh, I don't know." And on my back of my head was like, Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls 6. I feel like that's a layup at this point, just because of how early they revealed the damn thing.
Because even like in the sh- show or whatever showcase of them showing off Oblivion Remastered, and then they even mentioned that as like, we are still working on 6, but
Right.
the studio's been working on something else people have wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Just gonna shout out because since the last time we did a podcast, one of the games I was looking forward to, Last Epoch had its season 2 released, which honestly could not have gone better for them. That it was the perfect time for them because right now, Last Epoch, it's one of the ARPGs out there that's one of the most like polished,
Mhm.
like well done feeling games. It's just one that people want. Everybody wants more on it, but it takes a while for them to get stuff, and especially with all the like the or negative views towards Path of Exile 2 right now, and then Last Epoch came out, and it was an incredible launch for them. And season 2 is incredible. It's a lot of fun.
It's good.
I don't have like an immense amount of time in it right now, but I've played it more than I did because this is the first time I've played it since release. I didn't play season 1, and yeah, it is a grand old time.
Nice.
And I'm having a blast. I haven't played it in the past few days, but I'm gonna get back to it shortly.
Nice.
One last thing, at some point I will talk about it, but I didn't get a whole lot of time into it. I did pick up one of last year's gems that we talked about, but none of us played. Banished.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear any thoughts you got on that because I still want to play it.
Yeah, no, and again, I picked it up right before going on vacation, before everything came out. So I put a little time into it, not a whole lot yet,
Right.
just because everything dropped.
Yeah.
But I mean, the initial setup, I mean, it seems interesting. I'll
Yeah.
be curious where it goes because I re-looked into it when I was looking at it when I saw it on sale, and just everyone going, "This is a fantastic game."
Yeah.
It's just one of those hidden gems I got sort
Looked over.
of buried and looked over.
Yeah, because it just came out early in the year and it came
Yeah.
out around some other big titles. I can't remember what. And for context, we're talking about Banisher's Ghost of a New Eden for
Yes.
anyone listening, it looked like such a sick title. And it also just didn't perform well just because, again, it just came out at a bad time. It got overlooked.
I don't even know if it came in at a bad time because I mean, it came out during a week where I think there was only like sort of one big name, but even then, I mean, people weren't entirely sure what the heck it was.
Yeah, maybe just poor marketing kind of thing.
I feel like it was.
Yeah. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts on that because I still want to play that game. I forgot all about it. I'm glad you brought it up. I forgot all about it, man. I still would like to play that game. That game looks like a lot of fun.
One quick thing because I think I mentioned it to you briefly. I did try Blueprints.
Oh, okay, nice.
I played it for about 4 hours.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be going back to it.
No, not for you.
It's one where I wish I would have downloaded it on my PC rather than my Xbox.
Okay.
Purely for ease of access of like being able to like take screenshots and stuff because there's too much in that game to just remember. I mean, it was fun. It was kind of like you said. It was really enjoyable. That aspect that you were talking about of like one more run kind of hit me for the first, I'd say probably 8 runs.
Yeah.
And then it was really kind of when I started unlocking like
Key components.
more of what's there. I mean, it's one of those games that's hard to talk about as well because everything in that game is spoilery.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, as soon as I started unlocking and seeing how much there was, I kind of lost interest because the core game, like the core loop of like placing the rooms and going through and figuring out those puzzles was interesting, but not enough to make me want to spend the time to figure out everything.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw a lot of people talk about like after they reached, the 46 room and essentially beat the game, like they immediately wanted to go back to it to find all the other secrets. I don't know if I'm going to feel that feeling because for me personally, I have not reached the 46 room, but I've essentially got like the pathway to get there, right? Like I have to get the right run to set up something because I've got all the pieces in place, right? I've gotten all the damn pieces in place. It's just that I got to get a certain room to take care of something outside. And once I can do that, I can get to the 46th room. And I don't feel like going back once I get it.
After I decided I wasn't playing it, I watched a video of basically like getting to the 46th room in like 21 minutes or something, and it basically showed step by step how to do it.
Mhm.
And I went, I'm glad I didn't play this.
I still enjoy it. It's a fun little game.
It's like it's one of those where it sounded great initially, and it was great initially, but I very quickly realized I don't want to put the time into it.
Right.
Which I mean is fine.
Yeah. I still understand how it got rated so high for the year though, because there's just so much depth to it.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I
I totally get it.
For how simple the game looks initially, and how much depth is actually in that is incredible.
Right. Yeah. No, Blueprints is a really solid release for the year. Just like Expedition 33 is an incredible release for the year. Most anticipated game of the year for me personally. And it has delivered on all expectations that I had. Now, once I finish this up, now it's all steam ahead for Digimon Time Stranger. But for now, enjoying the crap out of Expedition 33. I did pick up the deluxe edition, so that's pretty cool with its nice steelbook, as well as honestly a really nice art book, the Expedition Journal. So shout out to that. But now, in terms of time, I know you mentioned before the show how much you had in. I'm probably about in the same range. I'm probably guessing 16, 17 hours.
I got
my guess at this point.
Question real quick.
Yeah.
Did you buy this deluxe edition just to have it and play it, but you're playing it on Game Pass?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, actually, the wife is actually playing it now.
Okay.
She wanted to play it
I was
too.
curious because on my Xbox app, your name finally populated in the people playing it. And I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I know he sent me a picture of this.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm probably about 16-ish hours in right now, based on playing all day yesterday and all day today so far.
I don't think you are.
I'm pretty sure I am if I go to my save time. I'm pretty sure I'm about probably 15, 16 hours in.
I'd be surprised.
Because I started playing yesterday morning when I got up, and I basically played until about 11:30 last night. And then I got up today, and I played again from probably 9 o'clock to probably 4 o'clock. So, I mean, I'm probably about 15, 16, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't feel like I'm too far behind where you guys are based on kind of.
I mean, you're literally right behind me.
I have just under 12 hours.
Yeah.
See, my extra like 4 hours is because I chose to fight things I'm not supposed to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on what you said, about 3 hours makes up that time difference.
Yeah, you can totally make that choice. You know, you want to go out there, you can totally make that choice to fight things.
You said you spent about 2 hours fighting one enemy. I took one try on that, and I went, come back to that.
Yeah, come back to that later. I've also been doing some backtracking, which is a real pain until you get to flying. But I've been doing some backtracking as well.
That's why I just did it before moving on.
Yeah, I'm just doing backtracking.
I mean, I got a couple things, but
yeah, I'm doing some backtracking right now.
I've only got a couple things that I need to go back and do.
Yeah. But no, I mean the games for me so far. I mean, this has exceeded all expectations for me. I love the narrative for it. I really do. I love some of the narrative choices too. Shout out to Act 1. That's all I'll say. Shout out to Act 1. I love some of the narrative choices.
I mean, overall, it is an exceptional game. I mean, overall, both in game as well as the cinematics look fantastic.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There's actually quite a lot going on in the game in each environment. If you actually take the time to really look around, like
really study everything and read everything you find, whatever.
Because like, I probably spent 40 minutes just going through the Gomage parade.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, me too.
From once you actually get off the rooftops and meet Sophie, and then just talking to the different people, how each people is taking, more or less perceiving the Gomage now after it happening for 67 years.
Yeah.
If you actually look around, there's actually somebody in a trash can hiding who believes that he won't be gomaged if the painters can't see him.
Good effort, guy. Good effort.
Just before we went too far into it, for anybody may not know if you kind of stayed away from it and hadn't seen anything out of it yet. Expedition 33, the basic story behind it is in this world being called the Paintress showed up a long time ago and essentially had a pillar. Numbers started, I think the number started at 100, and every year it counts down, and anybody who is that age essentially disappears.
Yeah, gets Thanos snapped.
Yeah, basically it's Thanos snapped out of existence. And the people of the world or the people in this town essentially every year send out after the Gomage, which is the day that the number changes, send out an expedition to try to go take down the Paintress or figure out what's going on and stop it.
Yeah, solve the cycle. And more or less the game starts with the day of the Gomage with one of our main characters, Gustav, on a building and gets found by his sister Mael and everything, which leads to you joining the Gomage celebration, everything that's going on. Because like there's a lot going on because there's all there's the flowers, the initial set of flowers. Then there's actually one table on the harbor, which if you go to it, Gustav will be like, this table was from last year.
Yep.
There's actually one lady who's sitting in one of the plazas. She's just sitting on a bench. She's surrounded with just bouquets of flowers, just humming.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of like you. That the opening of the game took me a very long time because I talked to just about everybody.
I talked to everyone I could possibly find.
Yeah, it really set a tone. Like
Yes.
even the whole the fact that they have a thing for the furniture. Like everyone who's going to be disappearing, they just leave their furniture out for anyone who's still left behind to use, which is interesting to me. Yeah, the whole there's apparently an academy for the expedition, which doesn't really explain a whole lot.
Yeah, it doesn't really dive into that. It's just it's just more focuses on like, hey, we kind of know what the expedition is going into the games. They don't really focus too much on the academy, but yeah.
But I mean, it's just a very interesting thing of seeing just how at this point in time in the game's setting and years of just how the people take the events, the Gomage of how people see the expedition versus how people choose to celebrate. Because like if you go to one of the doors, you can hear the sounds of two people having a good time before disappearing.
Yeah.
There's one guy who's drunk, just ranting and raving about it. More or less a lot of people like when they talk to Sophie, how some people sort of skirt around I say skirt, but it's like we'll be like, sorry to see you wearing the flowers and yawn. Because we didn't even mention the people who are going to be Gomaged on the day are all wearing wreaths of flowers around their neck.
Yeah, it's like because people will get flowers and give them to them if they see them as like an important person in their life, essentially.
Yeah, the only sort of weird thing about that whole initial parade is the mime.
I was gonna say the mime's kind of. I just kind of walked up to it. I was like, "What are you doing over here, buddy?" Oh, we're doing this, huh?
The mime's attacking. What? How many times did it take you?
2.
You?
Yeah, 2.
For me, I just really couldn't get its initial set, so it took me 3.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Because I have this terrible thing for me learning the attack patterns.
Yeah, I'm bad at it.
I choose to try and parry instead of dodging.
Right. Oh, I gave up on parrying.
I'm mostly a dodger, but I'm trying to get into parrying.
I want to say one thing out the gate on this. Before this game came out, it was said that if you play this game, you do not have to learn the real-time mechanics of it.
That's why you play on easy.
I'm just saying, I'm not playing on harder. I'm playing on the middle difficulty of like, yeah, I know what's going on. I don't want story mode where everything's gonna be a cakewalk. You gotta know that. You gotta do the timing.
You gotta get.
If you don't want to worry about the QTEs, play easy mode.
That's not true.
Is it not?
You have to turn it off because I am playing easy mode, as it's well documented on this show. I don't give a shit to play games on easy mode. I just want to enjoy my game. But no, the QTs are still there in easy story mode. You have to go in, no matter what mode you're on. You have to go into settings and turn it off.
Okay.
Yeah. For the QTs.
So did you turn it off?
No.
Oh.
No. Okay. No. I'm rocking QTs.
The QTs, very, very important.
Yes.
Yeah, and then also just the dodging and the parrying. Yeah. You gotta. I'm with you. There are some fights where I'm gonna get hit a couple times as I'm trying to learn that pattern.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, every time it never
See,
fails.
it's worse.
There's some I can't get.
It's worse for me because again, I like to fight fights that I shouldn't be fighting.
Yeah.
So I get one shot.
Yeah.
So either I succeed or I miss it, and it's wipe reset.
Yeah, no, that's why I did not like the stone wave cliffs, because there were some enemies that for whatever reason my brain could not get the pattern down. Like the little Reaper dude, I could not get his pattern down at all.
The one with the sword?
With where he fires like little purple things.
Oh no, you just take
What?
them out before they get a turn.
Dude,
Oh, those. Yeah, no, they never survived.
dude, those things I could not get the pattern down.
I got hit by them in the first fight, and I went, okay, we're gonna refigure out all my abilities right now.
There you
They
go.
are never getting a turn again.
Yeah, because those things
Oh,
are annoying as hell.
No, after when they initially set the whole thing of flyers have to be shot down, I went, all right, flyers die first.
Right? Yep.
So since the beginning of the game, I don't even know what attacks that thing has because I saw it was a flyer. I went, you're dead.
Oh, that's like I told you guys before we started. I have a character who is dedicated to free shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because like all I know that those things do in that cave is if you shoot the orb shooting around it, it gives its teammates armor. Because that's its weak point is the orbs.
Yeah.
So if you shoot those, it gives its allies 2 armor. That's the only thing I know it does because it never survives past round 1.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
you gotta free aim that thing, but whenever it does
Very-
attack, I could never get the pattern down.
Very few enemies that aren't like kind of like the more boss type enemies
Yeah.
in the game. Very few of them at this point survive a round.
Right. I also want to circle back to just like the opening of the game.
Yes.
Because I want to say this for me personally, just with how everything was shot and how they kind of delivered everything, it's one of the best prologues I've ever played.
Oh,
for
it
a
is
game.
fantastic.
Oh,
Like
it is awesome.
even like
Yeah, it's unbelievable the way things are shot, because like it's not only from the way things are shot from like a camera point of view, but also just like the overall theming of where you get thrown into it, the way that you do this whole entire new property, this whole new world, and the whole theming of walking towards your death with acceptance.
yes.
Just really weighing very heavy on everyone there, and just the whole constant setting of the tone of there's going to be so many more of these kids go to the orphanage that's already full because their parents are about to get
Yep.
Thanos snapped. Just the theming and the like the camera work, the timing, the music.
Oh, the music's on point on every
Dude,
zone.
like the isolation where
Mhm.
you know it starts and it only has Gustav, like just that.
Yes.
Everything about the prologue absolutely blew me away. It was incredible. And then like not even, and then just, dude, when the expedition actually starts, the camera work there was awesome.
Oh, it was
Dude,
fantastic.
it was
the,
great.
Dude, the back and forth between black to characters,
Yep.
absolutely incredible. The prologue for this game will get you hooked immediately.
Oh, it's just the other aspect of the opening before we even get the setting off for expedition cutscene.
Yeah.
Just the contrast of how they use the light and everything. Like
Yeah.
it was like pretty much like midday for the homage celebration
yeah.
and whatnot, and then the change from using the sunset of when the painters stood, repainting the new number, using the sunset as it slowly went from sunset darker, darker, and darker
Mhm.
as more and more people disappeared. And then the other aspect of just seeing how full the streets were and everything during that initial walkthrough and everything. Then we get into the party for the expedition send off.
Yep.
And there's literally no one besides anyone who's actually involved with the expedition in some form or fashion or people with it.
Yep.
Also, just speaking of that, like when it changed to just the expedition
Mhm.
group, like getting ready to go out and try
Yeah.
to like have one last celebration, the tonal shift
Oh, yes.
between the gobage parade and all that to people like trying to have one last moment of like enjoyment before they set off to what they perceive as certain death.
Yep.
Yes. Because, and yeah, just different interactions because you can talk to pretty much everyone there at the expedition party.
Yep.
What do you guys buy with your coin?
You can get all 3.
I didn't get all 3.
You can get all 3.
What was the first thing that you bought? Because I didn't spend much time at the
Like
expedition.
the artifact one.
Yeah, the Picto.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
first
I
thing
got that's what I got. I didn't get all 3. By the time I was there, I talked to a couple people, and I was at that point, I was ready to go.
Yeah,
You should have at least gotten 2 because Mael literally gives you 1.
Yeah, I was ready to go.
Well, I'm
take,
done here.
I take that back. You have to win the fight with Mael to get the
Yeah.
token.
Yeah, it hit the point where like as soon as
Emma?
yeah,
Emma.
as soon as she showed up, I was like, I'm ready. I'm going.
Yeah,
Let's get the expedition. Because even before then, I talked to a couple people that were standing around there, and I was like, I'm gassed up to go now.
Right.
See, I really enjoyed actually talking to everyone because like you have all the expedition people, Lucian and Catherine, who seem to be Gustav's friends and whatnot, trying to like initially sort of console him after Sophie disappears.
Yeah, because I think that's the one point that I didn't talk to every character that I possibly could.
Yeah. And like just the outset of like the commander, Alan, the leader, Gustav's students who are there at the end with the journal and everything.
Yep.
And just how their sort of mindset is with them going to be a future generation of expeditioners, which is wild to think about.
Yeah, right.
But because
we just know you're gonna die. So
well, it's just wild to think about because all his 3 students seemed like they were in like maybe 10 to 12.
Yeah, they're like little kids, but in a few years they're gonna be going out.
Yeah, so by the time they hit like 20, maybe
right,
they'd be going out. Because that's the thing that's real wild to me is that Mael apparently she's only like 15 or 16.
16.
Well, she's 9 years younger than.
Well, no, he said you have 9 good years left, and the time goes down. So she'd end up going out on.
Oh yeah, I guess that's
because I did the math. Because if she waited, she would disappear on the 24th, on 24.
Okay, so yeah, it's like she's young, but she's like, we're going out.
Yeah.
If you're going, I'm going.
Yeah, which is sort of wild, but yeah, just the whole shift of thing, and then the initial speech that Emma does to the ship going off to the hell of an opener on the shore.
Dude, the shore opening is incredible. So good.
Like as soon as the music disappeared and I just heard I went, ah shit.
Yeah, here we go. And then it's like not just the end of the prologue, but even just getting into Act 1.
Oh yeah.
The very first part of Act 1 before you meet with your first companion. It's like just the extreme weight of what you're facing.
Oh, the mental anguish that Gustav. Gustav.
The mental battle there, man. Like when he sets down, I was just like, dude, this is incredible.
That was a really nice shot because, like, so just to put it out there, at no point in this story, in terms of prologue to Act 1, I think there's maybe been 2 moments of uplifting. Everything else has been sort of on a damper.
Oh yeah.
Like this is definitely a story of struggle and perseverance.
Yeah.
And not overcoming challenges that come at you.
But I want to add because this is something I really wanted to shout out. Even though that is 1000% true, I absolutely love how there's those sprinkled moments of unseriousness.
Oh yeah,
nonstop. Like starting off with the 2 brothers. Yeah, I beat up my little brother, to get stronger. It's like that cracked me up. And then just like some stuff that you see at camp and stuff. But already one of my favorite things is your last companion that you get.
OCL?
No, your last companion you get, your very last one.
Oh, okay.
Where he whenever he gets excited, he talks very fast. And it's so funny to me. It's hilarious.
Okay.
Where when you're going to recruit him with like his best friend, whatever, at first, this companion I'm referring to, he's just like, no, I'm not going. Forget that. I'm not doing it. And then, the other guy's just like, there's going to be a lot of fights. He's like, yeah, there is going to be a lot of fights. It's like, going to be a lot of fights. Yeah, a lot of fights. I'm in. It's just that he starts talking very quickly. There was a moment at camp where he's just like told one character, hey, you should go do this, cheer them up, whatever. He's just like, the thing that's going to like be like, you talk about the thing that's going to cause me a lot of pain. He's like, yes, the thing that's going to cause you a lot of pain. Like he just talks very quick and it's just so super unserious when he gets excited.
I mean, you get with that with like SK? Yeah. Because like when like one of the camp scenes with one of your later characters whose name I can't remember to say it's Ben Starr's character.
Oh, Verso.
Yeah, Verso. You go up to him, he's like, "Yeah, SK, how's it been?" It's like, "Oh, I've been doing well." It's like, "You lose your stones again?" "Yeah, I lost them again."
It's like, are you doing this on purpose?
Yeah, he's like, "I found them 10 times for you now.
Yeah.
Are you doing this on purpose?" "Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
losing them on purpose so we can go on more adventures."
It's like I've found it for you 10 times over. Are you just losing them so I'll come hang out with you? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
so
basically.
we can go on adventures. Yeah, adventures are good.
Yeah. No, Verso and that last companion I'm talking about, like their interactions are just gold. Absolute gold. Like just like he seemed like such like a cool kind of character, as well as like a little bit of like almost like a drunken side to him almost. But just that quick interaction, it's like, nope, I'm not doing it. You know what happened last time. It's just like Verso's like, there's gonna be a lot of fights. It's just, and he's just like, there is going to be a lot of fights. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of fights. Yeah, I'm in. And it's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
It's just little stupid shit like that. So there is lightheartedness to it that gets sprinkled in that's just complete gold.
One thing I want to shout out, I don't want to get too far into it or to get too descriptive of it because it is heavily story, like spoilery.
Oh my God, yeah.
But you talk about camera work when the color scene shifts to black and white.
Oh my God,
yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Anytime that happened, like the first time it happened, I'm sitting there. I go, I don't like this, but because with the black and white camera, like when it takes all the color out of it, and the characters are sitting there and they're just looking straight into the camera, dude, it looks so good.
Yeah.
It looks like pretty realistic too.
The cinematics and the
And
camera work angles that they did with any of the cinematics is fantastically well done.
Oh, yeah. Like specifically anytime the camera cuts to black and white during a cutscene, oh, it's good.
Oh, dude, I know. Like, I can't express enough just how well they've done the camera work throughout the entire game. Like, whether if it be like the black and white moments or like epic, climactic finishes to a certain like boss fight, for example. I think you know the one I'm talking about. Yeah. Just stuff like that, dude. I mean, like, it's just incredible. Like, one particular scene.
I know exactly which boss fight you're talking about because I couldn't see shit.
Yeah, it was really dark in there. Yeah, because so that was the first time that after that boss fight, I actually had to go in and turn up stuff because I was like, where do I go? I can't see.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
But no, also
this is something I haven't done yet.
It's literally your next boss fight.
Yeah.
But like literally, it finishes the fight and I seen this whole cinematic thing of going. It's like that probably looked cool. I don't know what the fuck just happened.
So
but
as soon as it ended and I was able to move again, I was literally looking around like, where do I go? I can't see. I can't see where to walk. I did have to turn up like some settings for that. But also with the camera work, right after that fight, there's a pretty important scene.
Yeah.
And the camera work for it was incredible. Just going through everybody and the different shots.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it was so good.
it's
And
a very good scene.
like that's the entire game, man. Is that the camera work is unbelievable what they've been able to do with this.
And like one of the things that I remember them mentioning, during one of their Studio One's things talking about Expedition 33 was just like them talking about the characters' relationships to each other and just how each one of them was on this expedition and whatnot. And you can really see it, especially in that one scene you're talking about.
Yeah.
Just with how those characters are connected with each other.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. All, having basically a different way to perceive what they're saying.
which is a wild thing, which I looked out and didn't ruin that scene because I had somewhat appropriate cosmetic outfits for my characters. So the scene was right on point. But if I had some of the other outfits I know I had, I could not taken that scene seriously at all.
Yeah, that scene would have been ruined.
Because
I mean, there's certain cosmetics in this game that I just won't wear because even just walking around, I wouldn't be able to take the game seriously.
Yeah.
because like I couldn't take any scenes. I can't take any. I say can't. Probably any future ones as well. Any scenes with Gustav, I can't take seriously because the mime in Spring Waters.
You're wearing the damn mime outfit.
I'm wearing the damn sunglasses and the beret.
God dang it, Zach.
At least I'm wearing like the Lumiere suit.
Right, yeah, the suit.
So once I got the Lumiere suit, he's wearing the suit, but he's still got that damn red cap and the damn sunglasses.
Okay, I
Jesus
didn't
Christ.
put those on. The only character that's running around like I have the Lumiere suit on, but other than that, Mael is running around in the red skirt.
See, I ran around with that for a long time.
I'm probably gonna change it soon, specifically because when you get in a battle, if you get beat up, it doesn't look good bloody.
I mean, I don't doubt it.
Because if you get your ass kicked in a fight, your character get real bloody, and it looks terrible when it's bloody.
See, I had her running around in the skirt outfit. I changed it to civilian when I got that.
Okay, yeah, I don't have that yet.
It's from a random gestural merchant.
Yeah, I've been hitting up every single one of those I can have because let me tell you, I told you boys, the hairstyle game is on point.
It is really good.
It is, yeah.
I'm changing it constantly.
The only hairstyle I don't like is just the gestural one.
Yeah, I didn't like that one. either.
I put it on once to see what it looked like and took it immediately back off.
All the other ones are looking pretty good. Because I'm just a real shame because at this point, the one who has the least cosmetics is CL.
Shit, dude, I'm racking stuff up
I was
on
gonna
her
say
right now. For me, it's Mael.
I was gonna say for me.
I wonder if it's random then with the gestural merch because I have a crap ton of stuff for Mael, Lune,
Dude,
with CL. I literally have no other costume for her besides the baguette, and then she has like 6 hairstyles now. So
yeah, I've got like 6 or 7 hairstyles for her.
The outfits I'm less worried about. I'm more worried about the hairstyles.
Yeah.
And I've got plenty of good hairstyles for everybody right now that I'm like I'll play for like an hour and I'm like, okay, let's change this up a little bit. Because some that I liked, like they look good running around in.
Yeah.
But they're not good cutscene hair.
Yeah.
Because it clips through everything.
Mm.
One thing that we did briefly mention was good, but I've got to shout out is the soundtrack to this game.
My god, I know.
The music is on point.
When you guys go to camp, is the first thing you do put a song on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did the records that you find that you can play are incredible.
Oh yeah, I've collected all of them from that first zone. That's possible.
I don't know how many are possible in the first zone. I have 3 right now.
Oh, there's so much more.
Yeah, I've got some more running around to clean up like little things here and there.
Because like several of those zones in the first
I
area
have more actually. I just haven't been back to camp in a while.
is literally just a small diorama scene with like 1 or 2 items.
I've found a few of those,
and most of those just have like a record there.
Yeah, I found a few of those, and they are all incredible.
The only optional dungeon that I'm aware of in that first area is Yellow Harvest. If you've done it or not,
I went into it, and I have not done it yet.
So at this point, you're over leveled for it.
Yeah, I figured.
Which that one has 2 extra bosses. One of them is a fairly standard one. The other one is probably like a step higher than it because fucking all the optional bosses I've found. Backtrack though, real quick. The combat system we haven't really talked about. Besides, it's
we're gushing about everything else.
I walked in Yellow Harvest. I didn't see anything.
So first you go.
Dumb?
Yes, because there's a section on the right with some hooks to climb up on. And
I must have just completely because if you don't see those, there's nothing to do there.
Yeah,
yeah, there's not.
Because literally, you just climb up those, and then it takes you to a cliff, and they say, "Oh, that Nevron's up there. Looks like it's eating the earth." And you can just fall down to the zone.
I'll probably just go clean that.
It's
up
like, wow, that Nevron is the size of a mountain. It's like, is it eating the mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll have to go back and clean that up.
Yeah, because besides that, the only other sort of optional thing out there in Zone 1 that you can get to without flying is the Gestural Secret Fight Club.
Shout out to
I did
that.
go back. And
Yeah, I went back and did that too. So, shout out to that.
See, that was a fantastic thing for me because that's where I perfected my parrying.
That's probably a good place to do it. Yeah. Yeah, that's probably a good place to do it. But no, the combat though is incredible. You know, when they talked about the game, one thing they did say is they had an idea for combat, right, to make a unique combat gameplay experience, and they finished and perfected the gameplay before they ever made anything else. And
Yeah.
and it shows.
I didn't know I needed a Dark Souls turn-based RPG.
Yeah, that's a dude. The amount of people I've seen like online where it's just like Souls players. We were built for this. It's like, this is it, brother.
Well, I was gonna say like tied into the combat system is also like the was it the Picto
Picto system.
Yeah, the
Picto system.
Yeah,
It's like I have so many to choose from right
Yep.
now.
So I may or may not have ruined one of my characters. So CL is my main damager and just overall character. So you know what I did? I took all my Lumina crystals. I put them all on her.
Every single one.
Yep.
Oh my god.
She has 200 Luminaire points.
Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. You
Mine's
have
mine's balanced.
Everything unlocked?
Just about, yeah. Because I literally because I was looking at it, I was just like, I'm not doing anything with these points. Because I mean, I haven't gotten to a point where it's like I feel like I absolutely need to put extras into people. I more or less, whenever I went to camp, I just was like, I'll just round everyone up. So I just went the last time I went to camp, I went, hey CL, have at it.
Have fun.
No, I was kind of like Alex. I haven't like had any rhyme or reason of why I use them. I've kind of just like, I'll put 5 on you and 5 on
Yeah,
you and
same
5 on
here.
you. And then I don't buy anything because everything's, I still don't have enough to buy stuff. So I'm like, we'll just figure that out later. You get so many of them.
And they're only 1,000 at any gestural store, and I always buy them all anyways. So,
Yeah.
but overall, the combat is fantastic because like you have each character has their own little system of how they play.
Yep.
Or their initial sort of combat loop with which you can change out based on whichever side of their tree you want to spec out into. You have Gustav and Gustav, who builds charges so he can one-punch people. Mael with her stances, which based on whatever skills you have, you swap between stances to have a weird combo set up for her.
Or you could be like me and use Mail as your main nuker and say, fuck the stances.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you can play around the stances and swap between them to get a bunch of benefits. Several weapons really want you to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily doing that right now. I'm probably going to transition to it soon. But for right now, I'm just using her as, I mean, she's kind of my setup and my nuker. She's my enabler for everyone else to be able to do their thing, but also she's my main source of damage.
Yeah. Then Lune, she uses
she builds elemental charges.
Yeah, she builds
and
charges.
consumes
Strands, I think is what they're called.
Stains.
Stains, thank
But yeah,
you.
essentially she builds elemental charges based on what type of spell she uses.
She's a resource character. You build
Yeah.
resources, then use it to empower other skills.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you empower them to do more damage, add like debuffs or something like that.
Some skills give her a second turn.
Yeah.
CL, she is a apply stacks, clean stacks.
Yeah. She is hit, put stacks on, hit again, take stacks off, and do more damage.
Yep.
Or do some bonus effect of some sort.
Do something.
Then
Verso.
He's his system's called Perfection, where you literally have to do a perfect play with him to rank it up as if you're playing like a DMC. And the higher the perfection is, the more damage he does, and then certain skills do bonus effects depending on the grade of perfection you're at.
Yeah, he starts at rank
D.
And then by doing damage or
Blocking.
dodging and parrying,
Yep.
You build stacks to go higher grade, and higher grade get more damage, or higher grade you just do more damage.
No, it actually says it increases the damage because at S rank you're doing 200% more damage with him.
Well, yeah, it increases the amount of damage that he does the higher he goes. But like Zach said, certain abilities add different effects based on what grade you're in when you use the ability.
And it's called Perfection because anytime you get slapped, he loses a grade.
Yep. I don't think it'd be a spoiler for me to talk about the last character because he's in all the promos.
Yeah, you can talk about him.
Monaco. I mean, I don't think it's spoilers to talk about him, but like his is really interesting, where he can turn into different monsters that different Nevrons that he kills, but by eating their feet. So he takes their feet and he's able to turn into them, but all of his moves, he has multiple masks. And whatever move you do, the amount of hits that it is, it rotates around the wheel to get to the whatever mask. So you have like, 4 hits where you start here, it'll go 4 over. 1 hit, it'll go 1 over. And then each of those masks can give you a boost with your moves where it's like this move's like if you're using this move on this mask, it gives an additional boost.
Gotcha.
And each of the moves is how you get the moves is essentially defeating enemies, defeating Nevrons while he is playing with you. He cannot just be on the sideline. So right now I'm running him as my party to kind of stack up his stuff. But that's how he gets the moves, whatever. It's like there'll be an enemy with like a little symbol beside him, and that's someone where if you defeat the enemy, he takes their foot, and he's able to transform into that enemy and gain some sort of an attack for him.
And the other thing with combat, which I really like because of my play style, is once you do get more than your initial lineup of 3 people you can have on the field, if you should have a party wipe, the game then asks, do you want to sit in the reserve team?
Yeah, which that's really nice. Because I did not know that for the longest time until it finally happened. And I'm just like, oh, okay, well, it's up to you. Carry me.
First time it happened to me, it was like I think I was fighting an enemy where I was like, it was a tough fight for me because I was probably there a little too early.
Yeah.
And it was like, do you want to sit in the reserve team? And I went, hell no.
Mine was Act 1 boss. Final boss, Act 1. Yeah, that was my first time it happened. And all
you got wiped on him?
Yeah, literally right when I'm about to beat him. Like, it was right there at the end.
On phase 2?
Yes, phase 2. Yeah. So then it was all up to Mail. I'm like, get in there and do your thing. Help me.
I think I killed him in 2 turns.
I did the same.
I killed him in 2 turns. I don't know if it was just like the way I had my party set up at the time, but because it's changed drastically recently.
See, speaking of that, I actually really like things with some like the bosses who do have multiple phases is that it doesn't reset the fight. It just goes into it, resets the boss, but you still have all your stuff from the fight ready to go. Because like that's made all the phase 2 fights very easy to me because by the time I'm finishing the fight, my team is stacked up where it is. So literally phase 2 comes out. I was like, oh, you're in for a bad time.
Yeah. No, for whatever reason, that Act 1 boss is the only boss that I've literally struggled on. Because like that other boss for the, the one that we keep referencing,
that
was easy. It was a lot of fun, very easy for me. But just that one boss for whatever, I couldn't get the patterns down or something. I don't know.
I was gonna say, I think I've only had like 1-2 phase boss fight, maybe 2.
Should be just be 1, the Land Master.
But if it's just the 1 so far, I mean I've kind of just ran it over, which I mean has kind of been the story of my run. Is my team is way tankier than I expect it to be.
My team's the opposite because I may have also sort of ruined Lune.
What did you do?
So all of her stats are at this point 15. Besides luck, it's currently at 60.
What?
I mean,
that's crazy.
I mean, that's not. I mean, my Lune is not that far out of scale.
I take it. No, it's not at 60. It's at like 54 or something. It's about to hit 60.
I was gonna say I pumped only luck with her for like the first 35 points, and then I started putting points into agility.
Yeah.
But when I started putting points into agility, it just gives you a lot of defense.
Yeah.
So she's still probably actually, you know who's got the least defense on my squad?
Mail.
Urso.
Really?
Mail's got the most.
Really? Okay. Mail's got the least for me. I'm building hers up.
I've only pumped agility on her, which by pumping agility, by happenstance, you get a bunch of defense from like it adding the points into it. So she's got probably the most defense on my squad right now. But no, my Verso's got a lot of. He's got like some extra health, and then like the Pictos that I actually have like equipped on him are mostly just like I want him to have the abilities, but I don't have enough points yet to where he doesn't have to have it equipped.
Yeah.
But eventually that'll get swapped out.
That's right. The one reconcile with this thing, if you think you can ruin your characters, they give you a lot of respec items, which you only need one to respec.
True.
Yeah,
So if you feel like you've ruined your character, you can respec at any time, just
it's
about.
Easy, it's easy
how
to
much
fix.
crit do you have?
Like, what's the percentage?
It's got to be up there.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't actually really looked at it. I just know half the time when I'm using Lune, pretty much all of her attacks are crits.
Are you playing her lightning?
Yeah.
I was gonna say you have to be.
Yeah, that would be so much
because
damage.
Lune with a lot of the lightning spells,
Yeah.
it has the effect if you crit, another bolt happens.
Yeah. I'm running. She's
I'm
light.
assuming it's just a light show when you cast.
So the attack that I mentioned that Alex also has called Lightning Dance. It is
Yeah.
7 attacks. The boss that Alex and me are referencing, the dual one that's at the end of the battlefield that you're on, John. I watched his health go from 3/4 full to 1 Lightning Dance go to a third.
See, I haven't had that experience because I'm not using any lightning spells right now. But I was using like just the starter lightning spell that's like
Yeah.
low lightning damage, 3 hits, but if it crits, it goes off.
Yeah.
Most I've seen that do is like 8 hits.
See, because my Luna has so many crits, it's a 7 hit, and pretty much all 7 hits is a crit.
Yeah. See, because
And it doesn't help because I always, with my loop with Lune, I always spend 2 turns to set up, and then I lightning. So then it's also increased damage because of the charges.
yeah, I gotta figure out what I'm doing with Lune because right now she's gotten the least focus out of me with like her ability setup because it's the one I'm playing. It's the one I'm just playing around with and switching stuff out the most.
Yeah.
Mainly just trying the different element types, seeing which ones I like, which ones like I think work well for their point cost.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's mostly was it Witchfire?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's mostly like a Witchfire bot.
Or
A
Wildfire.
wildfire bot,
Wildfire.
yeah. That's mostly her job right now is hit an AoE on everybody, put some burn stacks on her, watch Mail go to town on her turn.
See, I gotta be careful with my Lune because I have put so much into her luck. Because so everyone else's health on my team right now is right there, like the 1500 range. I think Verso's a little bit higher, and along with yeah, that's about where everyone is besides him. He's a little bit higher. She's still at 800 unless I put Pictos on her.
I was gonna say, right, like for me right now, my characters are around. I think Verso's at like 14 or 1500, and everyone else is at like 800.
Yeah,
because I'm much
you're not putting a lot into vigor
nothing.
or vitality, not vigor.
Well, I'm putting nothing into vitality or vigor. Vitality, damn it.
Yeah, sorry.
On anybody other than Verso.
So your team's gonna become glass cannons real soon.
Yeah, I mean they already have been. For a while. They just recently got like the health increase because I put a couple Pictos on them.
Yeah.
There's one that I have that sounds like is something that might be decent for your Lune, just if she's getting her like destroyed.
Is it the one that gives her armor when she hits 50%?
The one that gives shields.
Yeah.
Yeah, you running that?
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
She also gets shell whenever she hits 50%.
Oh yeah, see, I don't have that on right or those on mine right now. I think Mail is running like 2 of the energized.
Yeah.
So that she can have the bonus
When everyone else dies. Oh, you're talking about energized start.
The energized start, so that she has more on the first turn. Because right now, just for clear like running around the field,
Yeah.
I'm using just I don't want the enemies to ever have a turn build, which is working out pretty good. It works out pretty good on bosses too for right now. Just because with the extra ability,
Mhm.
like with the extra ability points, I can like set defenseless, do
Yeah.
a big hit with Mail, transition over, get a bunch of like burn and stuff, potentially mark targets, and then like big burst damage. I got a lot of front loaded damage.
I got you. See, the other thing with combat that I want to mention is just all the boss designs have been very interesting and just each of their gimmicks.
I love all the
Like,
enemy designs.
One John was mentioned to me before we left is this the Crush Caverns boss.
Yeah.
It's literally just a
You got 5 turns.
yeah, it's just like some idle thing. You fall down into a rock pit trap, and more or less the boss itself, all it is defensive. It gives itself armor. It exhausts your team so they can't get any AP from any source. But each turn it acts, it moves the walls closer. And if after it gets 5 turns, as John said, it just kills you. Game over, no reserve team. You can get yourself in a couple extra turns, though, if you have a break build, because when you break it, it has to spend a turn stun, so you get an extra turn, but or 2.
Oh yeah, that's where I set my break build up.
Yes.
Or like that's where I started transitioning into break.
Yeah, versus in which there's just tons of just extra boss line around. Like, because one of the other ones I found is just 3 random Nevrons. Because like it's in Yellow Harvest, so I went through Yellow Harvest, beat the initial final boss there. I love their boss designs because every time I walk into it, it's like it's a big open area. What's about to show up? And everything, and just also fuck that Act 1 boss setup of just you going down the tunnel, all the lights coming. I was like, fuck off.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to do this right now. But yeah, no, I beat it. I went off to a little side spot. I went initially went up and was, wait, is this where I came from? I look around, I was like, no, it's not. Okay, walk out, and it's just sort of a dead end, just sort of nothing's there, and just a cliff off, drop off. I looked down, and it was really large. Usually they give you one of those magical ropes if you're supposed to go down there. I was like very unsure, so I went jump and let me fall down. I fall down there. There's just 3 random purple Nevrons just building something. And I was like, oh, what you guys doing? I thought they were some of the good Nevrons you could talk to. I touched it, and it went into a boss fight. I went, oh, shit.
I've started the approach of if I get close to anything, I immediately hit left or right bumper. I'm like, are we supposed to fight?
right. It's like, are we supposed to throw hands here?
Because there's been a couple times where like kind of like that where I walk up. I'm like, oh, what are we gonna talk? Oh, you're gonna move first now.
Yeah. Luckily. So I got first start on all my characters, so I always go first.
I had it on for a little while, and then I changed it out because I found some that were way higher level and gave way more stats.
Oh, I just used the Luminaire Picto for him.
Oh yeah, I haven't. Like I said, I've got a bunch of utility stuff that I have set up on my characters, so everybody can be an enabler right now.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that fight was interesting. It's 3 enemies you fight, but every one of their attacks adds an effect called Blight on you, which you can't take off. Well, you probably can. I just didn't have any stat removing characters skills equipped in. But for each stack of it, you lose 5% of your total health. And it just stays gone.
Love that.
Yeah. So by the end of that fight, all my people's health was at like 200. I won, but
it was tough.
I mean, it wasn't any different from any of my other fights I usually have. Yeah. It's either I get it or I don't.
Yeah, where he sees like a little bit can get chipped off. He's like, this is doable.
I was like, if your health bar, if I hit you with an attack and your health bar, I mean, goes down like a 10th or an 8th, my brain goes, we can do this.
It might take a little bit, but we can do this.
That reminds me of when you get introduced to Francois.
Oh yeah,
and you have to do that fight. And I was like, I pretty much took him down in 1 turn, and I'm like, I saw he was doing an attack, and it said something like doing the most powerful ice attack ever created.
Yeah.
And I was like, let's just see what happens.
One
shot, and I'm like, pretty powerful attack.
Yeah,
yeah, it's literally an Oko attack. Doesn't matter what you do, unless you parry it or dodge it, you're gone.
Yeah. I had that mindset where I was like, let's see how powerful it actually is. I'm not even gonna do any. Oh,
I enjoyed that interaction between SK
it.
and Francois. It's like, damn it, SK, stop sending people over here.
But they're nice humans.
Then keep them on your side of the cave. Then at the end, would take his stupid rock. Oh, you got your ass kicked, Francois.
Did you try to talk to him again?
Yeah.
I love how he tries to like talk shit, and I think it was like Male. It's just like, it's like, but you're a turtle that can't move, whatever. And he's just like, get out.
Yeah, he's just like, just keep in mind, I'm gonna come after you. I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna chase you forever.
I'm never gonna stop coming after you.
It's like, but you can't move.
Like, oh, is it a talking rock? No, I'm clearly a turtle.
All the characters are very good.
Oh god.
Just each
Yeah,
character's personality is very well
Yeah,
done.
true. No, like literally, there's been nothing about the game for me that's been disappointing.
No.
Like there's not. Like
mean,
everything's been incredible.
The one hiccup I do have about the game, and just because it's me, is just sometimes the level design's a bit confusing.
Yes.
I can
Because
see that.
I do want to explore every part of the map and want to find all that stuff, but there's at times where I run and I go, I don't know if this is the right way.
I got stuck
get
in a
that.
loop for about 10 minutes, turned around when I was trying to get to the Gestural Village.
Yeah, because there's some points on some of the maps where I'll be like, okay, I'll check this way first, and I'll be like, okay, there's a flag there, so this is the correct way. I'll go the other way, and then there's another flag there. I was like,
Yeah.
damn it!
That's
Yeah.
what happened to me, like going to the Gestural Village, because it's basically you go into a clearing, you go down a way, and then you go up a way that curves the exact same
Yep.
way that leads up to it. And I got there and I went, oh no, I've been here. And I turned around, went the other way. I'm like, how am I back here? And I got stuck just doing circles for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, some of the level design, as the levels themselves look fantastic and
Yeah.
very good, but in terms of pathing on some of them, if you're trying to explore the entire map, can be a bit confusing.
Are you playing on console?
Yeah.
You're playing on console?
Mhm.
I'm playing on
PC?
Game Pass for PC. I will say, because I have to mention it, there are cutscene wise, there are choppy cutscenes.
Oof.
There's a lot of clipping that goes on with like hair. I mean, it's gonna happen when you have the various
Yeah.
hair, like cosmetics and stuff. But like characters' clothing and stuff clips all over the place. There's been several times where like a cutscene will be going and a character will be over here and then just teleport here like a second later. Like it's not in the right spot.
Yeah.
Some stuff like that's happened. General gameplay wise, it's very smooth. Cutscene wise, it gets a little choppy here and there.
I haven't seen any of that myself. So.
One thing I will praise this game on, because it's not something I generally notice because it's generally accepted it's not going to be that great. The lip syncing in this game is phenomenal.
Mhm.
Like
I guess I really haven't paid attention to that.
like when the characters are talking,
Yeah.
it's one of the better examples of it I've seen in a while. Because normally, like you'll get a little bit of lag between it,
Yeah.
or it doesn't quite look right. It looks great.
The one last thing I do want to mention: how do y'all currently feel about the big old manor puzzle?
I don't know
That-
what I'm doing in the manor.
That's super interesting.
So there's different doors which gets you to different spots in the manor,
Yeah.
and which literally it's just figuring out whatever that room's thing is to get to whatever items.
Yeah, because I just every now and then
I've
I
only unlocked one door so far.
really.
Did you not get the one in the Gestural Village?
I've got like 3.
Yeah, I got 3 as well.
Okay, no, then yeah, I got the one in the just. So I think I've got like 2 or 3.
Did you get the one on the island?
That one, no.
It gets you
yeah.
to the
So
study.
I got the one in the Gestural Village, and I got the one that is in the Stonewave Cliffs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering if there was something more to it, but it's like
Oh, that means I got 4 then. Because I got the initial manor, I got the kitchen, I got whatever connects to the kitchen. I don't remember what it was.
there's a doorway in the kitchen that you can just open. That's kind of like a room that has another locked door.
Yes, I got the room that is that locked door.
Okay, I don't have that one, but I also got like the study or like the library.
That's the I got the library, and then I got the random bedroom that had one of my had the skirt outfit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that was the
that's
one
the
that
one
was
you
in
get from.
Stonewave.
Yeah, that's the one in Stonewave.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, I've found 4 doors so far.
Okay, yeah, I've got 3,
So the only
and I assume it's just you find the door, you get into another room. There's item that you got to get, and
Pretty
then
much.
and then you go back into the rest of the manor.
pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, it probably just ultimately leading up to the final, the very
big
end
door, yeah.
probably just gonna lead up to that being unlocked.
Did y'all unlock the secret room in the initial manor?
I'm gonna say no.
So in that main dining hall area, there's 4 switches, which opens
then
up.
no.
No,
Okay.
didn't do it then.
No.
Yeah. There's just run around the dining area, and there's 4 things that'll have interactable stuff
Yeah.
on the ground level there, and it opens up a secret little passageway you can squat down into.
Oh, okay.
I will say when I first got to the banner, I ran up to like the two doors on the ground floor initially, and I was like, oh, they're locked. I'm like, I gotta run around and try every door.
That's what I did.
I didn't even make it to like trying really other doors. I just instinctively ran to mail. I like went up and I was like, first door I'm gonna try. Open it. I'm like, I don't know if I had that moment where I was like, she just did whatever door I go to first. But then realized I was like, no, I guess I just naturally went there.
Nope, I found her door. I immediately turned around and went to the rest of the mansion.
Yeah, I found her door, and then I was like, all right, well, let me check everything else out first before I go initiate whatever this is going to be.
Yeah. Any kind of final thoughts you want to put on it?
Yeah, the board. It's time for the board.
Well, that's final thoughts.
Yeah, that's final thought. That's like closing statements is the board.
What is that? What happened to 7?
I just made sure to include 7 as a good score.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I want to really make that
Okay.
clear. But no, overall final thoughts. I mean, it's going to just kind of lead into the board. I think the game is absolutely incredible. Like I've already said, it's exceeded all expectations, combat, narrative, just the general tone setting, everything about it, the characters, the lightheartedness into this very dark and grim story. Everything about it, I think this game is unbelievable. It's absolutely, it needs to be played.
It's your favorite game of the year so far?
Oh, 100%. This is personally, this is my favorite game of the year so far. And like I said, now it's all steam ahead for Digimon Time Stranger. That's my second most anticipated. But as of right now, Expedition 33 is by far my favorite game of the year. By far. It's incredible.
My initial score, I will give it a 9 for currently. When I roll credits, I'll probably call it a 10, but we'll see if it stays at a 9 or not once I roll credits.
For me, this is currently, I'm kind of with Zach. This is currently 9. I will say, I do have a but. This game is currently a 9 out of 10 for me. I'm gonna finish it. I gotta roll credits. My opinion is probably gonna keep going up on this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's currently my second favorite game of the year.
Mine's
Kazan,
already
your
a
first?
10.
My favorite game of the year so far is Kazan. If I roll credits on this game, it could change that. But the more I play this game, the more I like it. But I have enjoyed my time with Kazan more so far, but I also have 3 times the time in Kazan.
In case you missed it, Alex said 10, so.
Yeah, this is already a 10 for me. Just the pro up front, if I had it as a button, shout out to AniMan plus 50. If I had it as a button of Zach on here to press, shocker, I cried. I'd press it because I cried in the prologue, and then my jaw dropped in the prologue, and then my jaw dropped again, and then my jaw dropped again with Act 1. Nonstop, this game has made me bust out laughing. It's made me cry. It's made my jaw drop. This is a 10. For me, it's 10. This game has exceeded all expectations. It's a masterpiece for me.
I would have this like could be a little shocker. It's very much right now looking like, based on how much I'm enjoying this game, it looks like I'm gonna have at least 2 10 out of 10 games this year.
Look at you, buddy. And here's the fun fact: both have Ben Star. Shout out to Ben Star carrying the load for you.
This year, because of games, I'm actually going to roll credits on more than one game this year.
Oh, I know, right?
Dude, same.
Right?
You know what's funny, though, that thinking about it, though? The Act 1 in cutscene, I do got to say, my Gustav in it looked actually fantastic, even
Really?
with the Luminaire suit and the dumb sunglasses, the baguette sunglasses, and his face off.
I find that hard to believe.
It actually looked
I
really,
find that hard
it
to
actually
believe.
looked really good. And the whole thing with the sunglasses of everything going on, and then when he chooses to stance up, it actually looked really solid.
I find that hard to believe, but I'll take your word for it. Oh,
You know, who would have thought that in 2025 was going to be the year where I'm going to have 2, and by the end of the year, potentially a 3rd personal 10 out of 10
Right.
with Digimon Time Stranger.
yep. Facts.
That's going to be one of the best years for me.
Yeah, one of the best years of
And who-
gaming for you,
and who
man.
would have thought that included in one of those potential 10 out of 10, because the only thing that could make Kazan not a 10 out of 10 for me personally is if the ending just completely falls off a cliff.
Right, right.
But who'd have thought that
Yeah,
one of
at
my
you.
potential 10 out of 10s of the year was also going to be a Souls-like game?
Yeah, who would have thought?
See, the perfect year for John, or I guess not the perfect year, the most surprising year for John would be whenever he says, I have a 8 or plus rating horror game in his list of games for the year.
Yo, facts. Will that ever happen? That's the
No.
real question.
No.
We can hope.
Zach, I was getting spooked in the black and white cutscenes in this game.
Those are very atmospheric
They are,
cutscenes.
they are.
Like they started and I went, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I'm saying this out loud while I'm in my house by myself.
That's great.
I guess you didn't have fun in the cave scenes then when you're running around with like, your little light.
That didn't bother me. It's because of the ambiance and
I
the
gotcha.
mood that's put in those cutscenes. Like there's a weight put on there.
See, that's sort of one of the funny things is just talking about the wave cliffs, the manor door there. When you go down that rope and you just see that knight standing there,
Oh yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a fight." One code him and went, "Okay." That was a disappointment, bro.
right, with how he was danced up and shit. Yeah. All right, let's shout out a sponsor, boys. Let's shout out Rogue Energy. Use the referral link down below. Promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order. But hey, if they got a different sale going on, feel free to use that sale. If you use the referral link, you are still helping out the brand. Regardless if you pick up the hydration, the chill, or the energy, they're all fantastic. And it also includes the energy cans. Again, use promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off, or just use the referral link down below. Or both. Both works too. Oh man, we really went on a while there for Expedition. Shout out!
a good game.
Dude, there's so much to talk about. It's one of those rare times where it's like the game is the show. You know what I mean?
it's
It's
also-
not very often that happens for us.
Also, how often is there a game that comes out that is a game we were all looking forward to, but also a very potential game of the year winner,
True.
Yep.
but also we all played it.
Yeah, we all played it. All three.
And we
of
all
us.
played a significant amount
You're right.
of it.
That's a rare one. You're
Because
right.
usually, even with all three of us playing, it's usually one person played a bit, the other two we dabbled in it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
usually like around the time like God of War Ragnarok.
Yep.
By the time we did the show, I beat it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like it was when we're like, I think you were
I was playing Sonic.
yeah, you were like you were wanting to play it but hadn't started yet.
Yeah, because I knew you were gonna play it. So with Frontiers coming out at the same time, I wanted to talk Frontiers.
But it's
on
like
the show.
usually it's something like that where it's like me or Zach will be like, yeah, I put like 2 hours
Yeah,
into it
yeah.
now. It's like I put 19.
And then I played Stellar Harvest.
Yeah, Harvestella. Yeah. Shout out to that. Yeah, me and John had our games of the week, and he's just like, I'm gonna play Harvestella. Why not? Also, forgot to shout this out. Expedition 33 is now the #1 highest user score game in history on Metacritic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it is setting as of today a 9.7, which is from everything that I can find is the highest score ever for user score on Metacritic. I don't think you guys could even attempt to guess the second place, because
It's probably something wild.
dude, it's incredibly wild. Because like my first thought was, all right, let me go through greatest games of all time, go through like the top 30 games and just check them, and they're all varying. Where it's like 9.1, 8.9.
I would assume
whatever.
it'd be some game that didn't have a very high fan base.
True.
So it was more of people who
True.
actually played and enjoyed it.
So I tried just simply Googling highest rated user score games on Metacritic, and Metacritic did have a page for it, but the page is by no means accurate at all, because every time you click something, the page like resets the list, and I can't filter it right. But I did find the #1 because nothing else has this score. It is a PS2 game. It is Rugby 08 with a 9.5. So I was like, okay, shout out to Rugby 08 with that 9.5 user score, buddy.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, man. But yeah, no, Expedition 33 not only is currently the highest rated Metacritic game of the year, it is the highest user score Metacritic game in gaming history. So big shout out. That's beating out Ocarina of Time. That's beating out the Mario Galaxies, the GTAs. I mean, it's beating out all the big dogs that you would possibly think of. So big shout out to Expedition 33. And all day today and yesterday, I keep seeing the Claire Obscure Twitter, as well as like different developers. Like someone will put that up. It's like, oh yeah, Expedition 33 is now the highest rated game of the year. And they're just like, what? And it's just like, oh, and now it's a 9.7. They're like, it's going up? This is like, what?
Oh, the other thing, which props to the developers of all just the random meme references they throw in the game.
Oh yeah, true.
Just random crap that you're just like, why?
Right. And also to shout out to, just big shout out to the studio Sandfall, because this is a thunderous debut for that studio. a team of like 33 people. You know, I mean, Thunder's debut. Like, shout out to them, bro. Shout out. But anyway, all right, let's touch on Oblivion, and we can keep going from there. Big pumped about this shadow drop.
Shadow drop.
Shadow
shadow
that you've been
drop.
talking about since October.
Since even longer than that, really. But big pumped about this shadow drop.
Do you think they would have waited to release it, or do you think they shadow dropped it just because of all the leaks in the last couple of days before it?
That's a great question. I feel like maybe a mix of both. I don't know. Like,
Because I mean, to be fair, they could have still planned on shadow dropping it because I mean, it came out in really good. What word am I thinking of? Condition.
Yeah, really.
Because I mean, I haven't
condition.
come across with the bit I've played a whole lot of like glitches or whatnot that wasn't stuff already left in that
like those
people
stuff
knew
we already
about.
knew about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more of like they always planned on shadow dropping it, and it was trying to find the date to do it, and it's probably they're just like, dude, if people won't shut up, we got to just do it
Yeah, just gotta get it out there, bro.
because it's clearly been ready for a while.
Yeah. Which that's been the reports for like literally about, I'm not shitting you, about a year now. That, hey, Virtual Studios is doing this and it's ready. They just got a back pocket. They're basically pulling Nintendo in this situation. Which honestly, this is one of those remasters where it's like a remaster done right. You know, where it's basically like a remake more than a remaster because of the amount of love they put into it, just how it looks.
The way I described it to a buddy of mine when I was talking to him is, it's a remake, but they don't like the connotation that comes with remake.
Right, so they call it a remaster.
So they call it they completely remade the game in Unreal 5.
Yep.
But took the time to put in all of that like 2008, 2006 jank.
Yeah, 2006,
Yeah, they took the time to figure out how to put the 2006 jank into it.
Yeah.
Yep. Which, you know, I also just love like the, you know, little additions they've added, you know, because one thing is they've added the Throat of the World. You can actually see it in this game, which you could not in the original because it did technically exist in the original. So you can actually see the Throat of the World, so that's pretty cool. They've added just some random memes and references. They've got a Star Wars Episode 3 reference. Shout out to that. I saw that on Twitter earlier. If you go, yeah, I don't remember. I think they said it's by the first Oblivion Gate in Kvatch, I think is what they said. If you go up to like this like pool of lava thing somewhere, there's like a burnt corpse that's halfway in the lava and halfway in the land. I'm just like, oh, shout out to Anakin. But no, I mean, dude, just the amount of love that they put into this game, and it makes me so happy to see everyone that has not played Oblivion play it for the first time, and that's only played Skyrim, because it's also just like, you know, just seeing how much there was in Skyrim. It's just like a bunch of little things. Like one of my favorite things about Oblivion is the custom class stuff. I love that. I think it's super cool.
Yep, I'm currently playing a Fister.
Oh, nice. Shout out to the Fister. But, you know, just the amount of love that they have to put in this and getting to see everyone get to play Oblivion for the first time. Because I'm an Oblivion guy. I prefer Oblivion over Skyrim. Now, while I will admit, like all of like the side like faction stories in Skyrim, all of those in Skyrim are better. Like all of them are. The College of Winterhold's better. I can't remember the name, but basically the Fighters Guild, the werewolf stuff, that's better. Thieves Guild, Dark Brotherhood, those are better.
I think that was the Champions Guild.
Yeah, the Champions Guild. Yeah, all of those storylines are better than the storylines in Oblivion. But like the main story of Oblivion, the Shivering Isles, Knights of the Nine, all of those. Give me all three of those over anything in Skyrim. I love those stories. Shivering Isles is one of my favorite DLCs ever. Which I cannot wait to jump back into it. I saw like in the reveal trailer like Sheogorath and stuff. God, he looks so good.
Yep, because all the DLCs with the remaster.
Yeah. So I mean, this is such an incredible drop. And you know, if it's someone like me that you've played, an ungodly amount of time. For me on my old Xbox account, I don't have access to got every achievement. Got that 1,000 gamer score. It's nice to just kind of hop in and pop into while whenever I'm done with Expedition in between games kind of thing. But I was so giddy getting on the game for the first time and spent the incredible amount of time building my character, because God bless, I love the characters I'm seeing people make. God bless the character creators, incredible.
See, I don't really care about character creation, so I just went default. I'm currently, because it's a build I just never did in the original Oblivion, I'm running around as a Wood Elf focused on hand-to-hand.
Nice. Gotta throw them hands. See, I love playing Fallout with hand to hand. That's my favorite way to play Fallout. It's just running around the map beating people up. That is my favorite way to play Fallout games.
I don't know about in Fallout because, I mean, in this one, just because there's no VAT system, I'd actually have to punch them and whatnot. But just after every fight, just walking out and then just going outside of town and just covered in blood on the fists.
Right.
Everything's good to go.
Yep. No, the remaster is incredible, man.
See,
it really is.
Besides the remaster drop, the immediate first thing I saw was everyone reposting the "Stop Criminal Scum"
Right.
the remixes of all that stuff.
Yep. No, I'll be looking forward to hearing your thoughts on Oblivion whenever you end up like really getting into it. You know, since it's your first time, I'll be excited to hear your thoughts on the overall game as you further get into it. You know, whenever you get a chance to.
Here's the wild thing: Oblivion is still the only Elder Scrolls game I've played.
Really?
Yeah, I never touched Skyrim, never played Morrowind.
Man, I want to give Morrowind another shot. You know, I have not tried Morrowind since pretty
rough.
Yeah, I know.
Morrowind is rough.
Well, see, the thing is, I feel like my brain now as an adult is more open to going back to older games and trying to learn them. Whenever I tried Morrowind, I was in the mindset of, oh, wow, this is so much worse than Oblivion. I'm not going to play this because I was just a teenager, right? But I feel like now, like, I go back to older games more now than I did when I was a kid. So I feel like I could probably give it a shot, but we'll see because I do know it's rough. I do know the game. I was about to say,
I don't know if it's necessarily just absolutely worse than Oblivion, but the systems, from what I remember, are very rough.
Yeah.
Because I never personally played Morrowind, but I did see a friend of mine who did a Morrowind run, and all the entire time I was thinking, like, God, this looks rough.
Yeah. No, I want to at least try it. I want to try it because I've never played Morrowind. I do want to try it and see if I can get through it. May put that on the list because that is on Game Pass, right? I'm pretty sure it is.
I believe so.
Yeah, I may download that and give it a shot at some point. See if I can get through it at all. But
if not, it's gonna pull up probably Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind.
Yeah, I know, right? Shout out to that. But no, shout to Oblivion though, man. Check it out. You never played Oblivion? Gotta check it out, dude. Oblivion's a goat.
Oh, did you watch the live stream when they were announcing all that stuff?
No, I was busy at work and I forgot.
Because whenever I can't think of the voice actor's name who does the Emperor.
Oh, Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, Patrick Stewart. That's all chat was.
Yeah, she's like, Patrick Stewart?
It's like, he's come back, Patrick Stewart. Because that was the entire chat.
Yeah, was Patrick Stewart. Yeah, shout out to Patrick Stewart, man, being the Emperor. All right, let me shout out our other sponsor. Let's shout out some Agent Ink as well as our own merch store, Sparky 3 Shop. Head over to Agent Ink with the referral link down below. Pick up a jersey, pick up one of the hats. Go over to Sparky 3 Shop, pick up the B shirt. That's a good shirt. Pick up the We Have Hats hat. Or the Lonely Boy, or anything of the sort. Go over there and support the brand. We'd appreciate that. All right, boys. Before we start going through the weekly wrap-up, you guys have anything else you want to shout out? Oh, yeah. Did you want to shout out Banishers?
Again, I really haven't played a whole lot in it, so.
Wait on it, then?
Yeah.
All right, we'll do another episode. What about you, John? You got anything? Anything on the dome over there?
Not right now.
Okay. Well, maybe here at the end.
I guess I can throw out...
Throw it out.
Fragpunk console release came out this past week, as well as I guess second season of Fragpunk's going to be starting here soon in a couple days. So
I had to rack my brain just there. I'm like, didn't he already shout that out? No, that was before the show.
That was before the show.
My bad. All right, well, let's hop over to the Switch 2 pre-orders because what a debacle this was this week. Jesus Christ.
Is it technically a debacle?
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. Depends how you look at it. I did manage to get a pre-order in. I did affirm a pre-order, so shout out to that. But man, dude, the sites were brutal. I wanted to try, so my plan was, and it just didn't work out. My personal plan was I was going to try Thursday night or Wednesday night at 11 o'clock. If I was able to secure pre-orders with whoever, cool. Then the next day, I was going to try to go to our local GameStop and pre-order in person and just cancel the other one.
Okay.
That absolutely did not work out because just work tied me up before I could get to that GameStop. And by the time I got there, there was a very long line out front. And I already knew for sure because I called them. They only had 35 units to pre-order. So I was like, well, that's not happening. And also shout out to the fact they shut down business for the pre-orders because like this was already paid off and I just was like, oh, can I just pick this up then? No, dude, like they were shut down for all business for like an hour after opening, just strictly on the Switch 2 pre-orders. but it is being set up to be the highest launch console in history. Nintendo actually had to put out a statement themselves about Japan's pre-order situation, that it's past all expectations and they're trying to work to meet pre-orders, which is now crossed like over 2.2 million, I think is what I saw, for just Japan alone. So like Furukawa did have to put out a statement on Twitter, just kind of detailing that, well, this is more than we thought and we're working on it. And I'm just like, what do you mean it's more than you thought? Like, I feel like this is what you probably should have expected. But the estimations are that it could sell anywhere between 6 to 8 million, which will beat launch records of the PS4 and PS5. So it is setting up to be a very huge launch. And we'll see. And they've already kind of given fair heads up that it's a strong, depending on where you pre-order, it's a strong possibility you are not getting it on launch day. Because I know, like, if you pre-order through like the My Nintendo store, it upfront said it's like, hey, there's a good chance you are not going to get it on launch day. Yeah, it just depends. So some other stuff I did see come out of it is like that it does appear that pretty much every single third-party physical game is game key cards, except for Cyberpunk, as well as now think about the Marvelous games that are coming up. It's like the new Story of Seasons, this new Rune Factory, and the Daemon Ex Machina. Those three will be fully on the cartridge, but pretty much everything else that is a third-party title is all game key cards. And speaking of Rune Factory, that Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma may not launch with the Switch 2, even though that is the current release date in the West due to the tariff situation, because it is being manufactured in China. So the physical version of that may not launch. So shout out to that as well. But no, the Switch 2 pre-order situation, man, dude, Target completely crashed in the highest degree. Walmart managed to, and Best Buy, those managed to stay up pretty well, which is where I went. I saw on Thursday that GameStop's entire website completely crashed when it went up. Like, everything about it was down as can be. And I also saw some really weird stuff where it's like, I saw this on Twitter where one person posted that there was a game, their local GameStop. That GameStop was forcing everybody was forcing everyone to upsell, purchase more stuff. It's like, hey, we can't just ring up just the Switch. You're gonna have to buy a screen protector and this or that for us to ring stuff up.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like, that's fucked up. And the dude that posted is like, see, it's cool for me because I was already planning to get a screen protector in a game, whatever, at the same time. But he's like, a lot of people are walking away. Apparently, even GameStop has now stepped in, where GameStop has now responded to that. It's like, hey, can you please DM us the location? We're going to look into this. So it's like, oh, well, shout out, I guess. But
I mean, I get it. I understand it from a marketable decision, but at the same time, a bit rough.
yeah, a bit of an asshole thing to do, 100%. But no, I mean, we'll be getting the Switch 2 day one, which is more so for her than it is for me at this time. But I mean, it'll be cool to have, I guess. Go ahead and get it out of the way, because I mostly just want it for Pokemon later this year. So that's what I'm excited for, is for Pokemon Legends ZA. So, but yeah, no, it was definitely a situation this week, that's for sure.
Yep. Never even thought about pre-orders. Didn't think about it until after I saw some news coming out about it. I was like,
yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. If it had some big fancy launch title that you were really into, then yeah, I can get why you'd be rushing to it. Like, if it had a Pokemon, then you might be more like, all right, when's that pre-order start? But in your case, you're like, yeah, I'll get it when I get it.
Yeah.
I'll get it when I get it. I feel you. We also did have some news with Ghost of Yotei. Its release date is set for October 2nd. It will have the standard, digital deluxe, and the collectors. That once again, in Sony fashion, the collectors will have no physical game, which I hate that so much, dude. If you're gonna give us the big collection, just give us a physical game, bro.
No, it'll be one where a year and a half from now, after they realize how successful the game was, then they'll make a physical game for it.
Yeah, gosh dang it. But anyway, shout out to Ghost of Yotei. That's going to be a nice fall title. Can't wait for that. Then we had some Digimon Time Stranger news, which is mostly just random Digimon. Yeah. They said was going to be in the game.
They more show up, or they're like, hey, these are going to be there.
Yeah.
At this point, it's similar to like a Pokemon update for new Pokemon games. It's like, oh, we got new screenshots of these characters.
Yeah, no, that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
So Bearmon's going to be in the game, so that's cool. Bearmon's a classic. The Bearmon Bros are going to be in like Central Town for you, as well as more armored Digimon that we already got to see. I think it's just Pegasusmon. Is his name. That's Patamon's. He's in like the trailer of the town, but now we got to see Gatamon's armor evolution as well. Parrotmon and Eaglemon are both in the game. Parrotmon, of course, being mostly famously known from the OG Digimon movie that we know from when we were kids. And then I'm not sure how to pronounce this dude's name. Marukimon. He is the leader of Central Town, and he is one of the Olympus 12, which we've already talked about the Olympus 12 being in the game. Shout out to that. As well as Belfmon Rage Mode is in as well. So I've been enjoying getting the random little trailers like once a week, whatever, a couple times a week of just new Digimon being in the game.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it's nice that it's one of those where we don't get a lot of Digimon news.
Yeah.
So when it starts coming, it's nice.
Right. Which hoping over the summer with like the Xbox showcase and stuff, we get that release date. I need that release date. I need that release date. Let me tell you. The next thing I had here is I thought the negatives were interesting, and that's why I wanted to shout this out. It was some thoughts on Marathon per Tom Warren, which is a guy that I follow for different like news articles and stuff. He had 4 positives that he listed. The gunplay is classic Bungie, and it feels great. There is plenty of PvP if you're looking for it. The AI enemies are rather clever and well equipped, and the inside environment looks gorgeous. Now his negatives. Now the last 2 negatives is what I thought was really interesting. The first negative is the outside environment needs work, which that's all right. If that's the case, that would need some work with how the game is kind of set up and perceived. But he also said it often feels like playing an Apex Legends extraction shooter, but with a stamina system that makes the movement clunky. And the last thing he had is the gameplay loop isn't compelling enough to make me want to play this over other shooters. So I thought that was really interesting, and they should be having a beta sometime so that we can.
I mean, this is from
this
is from the alpha because I actually did watch someone who was doing the alpha, and I could very much agree with this because this is also a streamer who I watch who has done several like Apex streams as well and been a part of some like charity Apex tournaments, and she's actually fairly decent at Apex.
Right.
And watching her play was a lot of it towards the end of it when she understood how her character worked and whatnot. Did almost seem like I was watching an Apex stream with how some of the gunplay and stuff was going.
Mm-hmm.
I personally didn't really note the stamina system, but I wasn't playing, so I wasn't really looking for that.
But you can see where he's coming from.
Yes.
Yeah, gotcha.
I watched a decent amount of Marathon gameplay. Like after the last show,
when we talked about it.
When we talked about it, it's like I watched a pretty good amount of it. I'm not exactly impressed with it. It's not looking like something that I would be excited to play.
I mean, and I would be on the same spot because I mean, the most positive I saw from that, and even like the streamer I watched said, was the gunplay.
Yeah.
Right.
They said the gunplay felt good and whatnot.
Which we would hope so.
Yeah. It's basically that's pretty much what I heard too. Is it feels like good gunplay, but it's a game coming from Bungie. You expect good gunplay.
Yeah, that's the bare minimum exception. You can't have that as your selling point.
It's like you can't have good gunplay in a shooting game and that be your main selling point. The rest of your gimmick has to be good. Yeah. And from what I was watching, it looks more like revolved around fighting with the AI and the people, and the extraction shooter aspect of it is like the second thought.
Yeah, it really does.
Which is, I mean, not what you want in an extraction shooter. You want that to be, you want the core gameplay loop to be about going in and looting items and getting out, and the fights in between be the fun part, like be fun as well. But that's not supposed to be the only selling point.
Right. Now, let me ask you guys this, because I don't play extraction shooters at all. So I'm just kind of curious on this, because one thing that stuck out to me from the original like reveal is that the way they have everything set up is that they are expecting an incredibly high amount of failures, right? Where you're never going to actually succeed and win. Mm-hmm. And like they were trying to perceive it as like, oh, well, what we have is going to be like compelling enough for you to constantly want to keep trying. Whatever. With this kind of news that it's like the gameplay loop doesn't seem compelling from what you guys saw, it didn't seem impressive. Does the fact that it also just makes it where it's like you're never going to win, does that just make you see the question I'm trying to ask, where it's like, does that just really add a huge negative to the game?
I mean, no. I guess
I don't know how extractions go, so I don't know what like the success rate is. I have no clue. I have no context.
It doesn't make it any more compelling by a far means. It makes it far less compelling.
Okay.
I mean, streamer I watched and the couple times that she played, I mean, she actually had a fairly decent extraction rate, but this was also her um being squirrely and honestly leaving her teammates behind and doing like solo extractions. So
Gotcha.
her focus whenever she thought about it was her actively playing like this is an extraction shooter. I need to grab stuff and get out.
Okay.
But I mean, in terms of what it seemed like how other people were playing, I mean, no, because I mean, some of the AI were pretty tough in the fight she got stuck with and did murder her or her teammates. And then some of the PvP that she ended up in, it was more or less down to a gunfighter who had the better shooters at times.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's one where the mortality rate is defined by the playstyle. If you're going in looking for constant fighting, you're gonna die a lot more. If you're going in to play the extraction shooter and try to play it, the problem is most extraction shooters are based around a more tactical gunplay and like positioning based. This is more arcadey,
Yes, it is.
which means it's a lot faster paced, it's a lot quicker fights, it's a lot more about repositioning and getting there quickly and getting the drop on people rather than the more tactical essentially try to make sure you've got the fight won before you take the fight.
Out of curiosity, John, the gameplay you did you see any decent glitches? There's one of the characters is supposed to sort of like run in and help disrupt either glitch or I think the other one's name was like Shroud or Void.
Void.
I don't recall if I saw that necessarily.
Because like from the bits I saw was a lot of people, Blackbird and Locust were surviving, and then glitches and Void. I don't know if it's just because it was alpha, so people aren't used to their kits or not necessarily people who are usual shooters and had just picked up alpha keys for content creation and whatnot. Because like that would be my biggest thing for PvP is just what is the mortality rate on glitch and void players, the ones who are supposed to go in and disrupt and be like in the middle of a gunfight.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, honestly, like before seeing a lot of the gameplay, it was one where I was a little more excited about. I'll potentially check it out in a beta. I'm not excited at all to try it. I may try it during a beta just to see if something grabs me or if it's like fun enough to play for a little bit. Probably not going to be enough to make me want to pay $40 or $50 for it.
Right.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a thing of after this alpha, what do they clean up and optimize for their next either closed beta or open beta?
Mm-hmm. Which that'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see the kind of numbers it's going to pull when they actually do an open beta. So that's something to watch out for. Next thing I had is Madden is officially leaving Xbox One and PS4 behind with Madden 26. So for Madden players out there, I know you are rejoicing. So shout out. Per Insider Gaming, unannounced Blade Runner game by Supermassive Games has been canceled. That sucks. Hate to hear about canceled games.
That was going to be a story-driven Blade Runner?
Yep, story-driven Blade Runner set to come out in 2027. Now canned. Sony has also rolled back out the classic PlayStation designs for your PS5 UI that were previously taken away after the 30th. That's cool.
Nice.
Shouldn't have been taken away to begin with.
Should have taken them away. I mean, everybody loved them.
Those were sick, so shouldn't have got rid of those. I'm glad they're back. Hey, but Oblivion and Expedition were not the only games to come out this week. We got 2 other games dropped this week. First being the 100-line Last Defense Academy dropped. That is an 85 on Metacritic. Tons of 9s. God bless, a ton of 9s. A few 8s and 7s and a few 10s. It's got over 100 routes and over 100 substantial endings.
This is another game I'm going to pick up at some point, but it's only on Switch, isn't it?
I think so.
Damn.
Yeah. No,
Gonna make you boot that thing up
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
I mean, I got to plug it up and recharge it first.
right. Now, this is one that I do want to pick up at some point too, especially just seeing like some of the comments on it where it's like this game has been in 7 years in development. Studio, really took a big chance in this game, and because obviously, Danganronpa creator was involved with it, yes, but the studio, this is a big undertaking for them. Basically a lot of debt kind of going into it, so it's like people that's reviewing it are loving it. Now it's just up to the players to buy
Consumers,
the game.
yeah.
Exactly. So I do want to pick this up at some point because it does sound really interesting. Some reviews that I read were just like, I know, like looking at it, like can be daunting. Where it's like my playthrough was 130 hours, so that can be a little daunting to players. But I mean, it sounds pretty cool. Sounds like it's up my alley.
And then another game I'll probably pick up on some point as well.
City of Wolves, Fatal Fury.
Woo!
Shout out.
I've been watching a lot of Fatal Fury last couple days.
That did drop, and it did come in at an 81 on Metacritic, which is the highest rated Fatal Fury game of all time. So shout out to that. Lots of 9s and 8s as well. Whenever I did my April Metacritic prediction video, I did predict Fatal Fury would come in in the 80s range and get into the green. It'd be the highest rated game ever for him. So I'm happy for him. Let's go. Shout out to Fatal Fury City of Wolves. Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones was added to Nintendo Switch Online, so love to see that. The Fire Emblem collection is continuing to grow for NSO. The first rematch beta came to a close, and people are foaming at the mouth to play more.
See, I saw people playing it, but I didn't watch anything.
What the hell is Rematch?
That's the Sifu developers, the soccer game.
Oh,
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
I knew the name was familiar, but I was like, why do I know what this is?
That's the soccer game made with the Sifu engine.
Yeah. People are foaming at the mouth to play more. Like, it's crazy. Because everyone, the main thing everyone is saying about like how much fun it is like, yo, bro, this is arcade sports done right. Like, this is the right way that an arcade sports game needs to be. And everyone is just like, everything that I've seen from the reception of the beta is everyone loved it. And they're just like, please bring it back. Please give us a beta again. We need to play it again.
I'm just glad that the Sifu system transitions well for soccer.
right.
I was going to say, it was one of those things where like seeing the game that they decided to make, and it's like, oh, that's a weird choice. But at the same time, I know you know how to make a good game.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
you know how to make a game that's satisfying for players.
A game with a very good, that their previous game was one that was very heavily focused on like model movement.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, shout out to the Sifu devs, man, and shout out to Rematch. You should go look into it if you haven't already. Last 2 bits I've got is the Persona 4 Remake domain was updated again. Reveal probably happening soon, likely just in June, over with that Xbox showcase or something. This is following the same beats and the same patterns as the Persona 3 Remake and Persona 5 Tactica domains when those were discovered. So it's following the exact same beats and patterns for it.
I'm going to cross my fingers, disappoint everyone, and it's Persona 4 Dancing Knife Fever.
A remake of it or something.
It's a fantastic game, even though people don't like rhythm games.
Right. That'd be hilarious. I don't know if I ever shut this out on the weekly wrap up, but I did see some report, I think like a week or 2 ago, that look at Persona 3 and it makes sense. That apparently this remake will just be Persona 4. Golden stuff will not be included and will be later.
I mean, they set a standard with 3,
yeah,
so
they did. Yeah, so that makes sense. The last thing I've got is Game Freak launched a new game, boys. We got Pandoland. It's a mobile RPG co-developed by Game Freak. It's out now.
You know what else also came out apparently a week or 2 ago while we were off?
What's that?
Beastly Assaults.
Stop. I saw that from you, and then I got on Twitter and I saw some news outlet also post about it. I'm like, damn it, now it's in my timeline too.
It's a 20 versus 20 battlefield shooter with character classes, gunplay, and abilities. The top of it all, it's a bunch of animals.
Yep. Yeah, that got into my timeline. I want you to know. Thanks to you, it got into my timeline.
You know, it popped up into my Steam feed just because of Fragpunk and how much time I put into Fragpunk.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's just like, hey, you're into a shooter. Here's another shooter that just came out to early access.
That reminds me of something I saw on TikTok a few days ago, whatever, where it was a dude on his Steam page where it had that section. It's like, because you enjoyed these games,
Yeah.
I think it was Elden Ring and another Souls-esque type game, but I can't remember what it was. It's just like, man, he had the camera zoomed in on. It's like, since you really enjoyed these, this is a game similar, or whatever. So it just had that part. It's like, man, I really just wish I could have a game that's similar to Elden Ring and whatever the other game was. Like, God, that would just be so great. Oh man, what could I play though? And he pulls the camera up. It was recommending freaking Tiger Woods PGA Tour. It's like, because you enjoyed Elden Ring, you'll enjoy Tiger Woods.
Steam every now and then gets a little weird.
Yeah, some of the recommendeds are always sort of weird.
Because it's like every now and then stuff like that happens to me where I'll like be scrolling through. It's like, because you like this, you'll enjoy this. I'm like, what even is this? What even?
How does
type
this
of a
even
game
correlate?
Is this?
See, it's sometimes wild because since Steam has the like adult tag now for 18 plus games,
Oh yeah.
some mature games will get the adult tags. So sometimes in like when I do the recommended or whatever feed thing. One of those will just be randomly in there. I'm like, all right, next. It's like carrying on.
Yeah, they made it a lot harder to filter those games out when they added more tags to them.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else you want to add to the weekly wrap up? Anything you want to shout out?
I don't think so. I can't think of anything else I'm dabbled with this week.
Okay.
I don't think I have anything.
All right. Well, you know what you do have. Gamestetic Game of the Week.
Gamestetic Game of the Week this week is a game that shouldn't really be a surprise necessarily, at least considering my attitude recently. Gamestetic Game of the Week is a game that I have not been able to get out of my head. It is Remnant 2.
Okay.
Remnant 2 is a game that I've been wanting for a while. Never really got into Remnant from the Ashes. But Remnant 2, bought it like sometime towards the end of last year, 2024, and it's got its claws in me again. every few weeks, once a month or something, it kind of digs its claws in. It is an interesting game because it's like a third person shooter, like world exploration, kind of Soulsy like game, where you play as a character. Essentially, the world's been taken over by what they call the Root. It's basically a corruption that spawn everything gets corrupted by it, like people, animals, pretty much anything. And you kind of traverse through different worlds trying to find an end to the corruption. There's four different worlds in the game. It's basically different. The worlds would basically be like different biomes that you go to. There's one that's more like nature, one that's more like metropolitan, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one that's more like technologically advanced. The game has a ton of variety in it. There's probably hundreds of items in the game, from accessories and rings, weapons. Everything's unique. There's a ton of way to do various different builds in that. Ton of bosses. It's a game where one of the interesting parts about the game is nothing is really set in stone. Like when you load into a world, they've built it in a way where it's kind of like a bunch of puzzle pieces that are centered around a couple different big or like starting points. And once you pick an area, it loads the starting point and then just grabs the pieces that can connect to it, so that every time you play through the zone, you get something different. So there's different storylines for each world, because when you load into a world, you basically get the starting point, and that determines what storyline you have. And then there's different, what they call injectables, which are like side areas in that, and quest lines that can appear in it, but you won't always get the same ones. And depending on the areas that you go to and what storylines you get, determine if you're able to get the certain bosses or get certain crafting materials to make unique weapons, or be able to create different classes. Because I think there's 10 or 12 different classes in the game. And when you create a character, you get to pick from like 4. And then you have to unlock the rest of them while playing on your character. And it has its campaign that you go through, which kind of has a start and end, and then the middle pieces are kind of those puzzle piece injectable areas that you can get. And then once you play through the campaign, you unlock adventure mode, where you just pick a world, go to it, and you get randomized storylines every time. So it's got a lot of replayability to it, and that's kind of what I've been doing. I play through now. Since I beat the campaign, roll an adventure, see what you get, play through it, and just try to find ways to unlock all the different equipment in the game, unlock all the different weapons, because all the weapons, mods, and everything in the game are vastly different and create unique builds. There is a ton of replayability to it, and it has been one of the more just enjoyable and fun experiences playing that game every time I hop into it. It is a very, very good co-op game as well.
Yeah, and I agree with John because the original Remnant, I put a lot of time in the original Remnant, and it was very much a good game for me to scratch that sort of dungeon crawl itch. But it's, as he said, it's a much bigger map of world exploring versus just like a small dungeon.
Yeah, you get into it, and each area is kind of like a giant open zone that at the end of it, you either have another zone that you transition to, or if it's a side area, when you get to the end of it, you just teleport back out of it and continue exploring that area until you kind of get through to all the side areas, and then progress through to fight like the main boss at the end of your adventure. It is an incredibly good game, and I recommend it to anybody that it looks interesting to.
Question, because Remnant 2's been out for a couple years now. Have they released any DLC for it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it has a couple DLCs.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is, if you own the DLCs, since all of the world storylines are injectables,
Yeah.
when you load the campaign, you could get a DLC storyline as your campaign.
Okay.
Because the story, like the campaign, plays through the worlds as its catalyst to get you to the end of the end of the campaign.
Yeah.
Because the campaign has like its start and end, and everything in the middle is kind of getting you through there and teaching you the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is an incredibly good game based on gameplay and just the endless replayability of it.
Shout out to Remnant 2. Another Gamestetic game of the week in the books. I also saw something the other day that I thought was so damn funny. I don't remember what the context was, whether if it was like simply an old IP announced to get like a new game, or maybe the Oblivion coming back or something. I think it was an older IP announced to be a new game, but I don't remember what it was. And someone had like a collage of games, which is like, oh, since this game is getting one, what other old IPs would you love to see make a comeback? Brother, when I tell you, at least like half that list was shit you've shouted out for Gamestetic Game of the Week. Because like I'm looking at this list, I'm like, oh look, there's God Hand, because we just had God Hand episode or whatever. It's like, oh well, there's Enslaved. Oh, there's Def Jam 5 for New York. Okay, there's Rogue Galaxy. Okay, and I'm just looking at everything. I'm just like, God, there was so many of these are Zach's games. Like, what the fuck? Did he put this list together? Does he have a secret account? I have questions. Oh, if I find it, I'll send it to you.
Because I
was trying to find it.
I've played all those gems that people missed.
Right. I think even Jade Cocoon was on there,
Yes.
and I was just like, what tipped me off was God Hand, because it was fresh of the brain because of the God Hand episode, and I was just like, oh look, there's God Hand, and I started looking around, I'm like, wait, I recognize most of these now. What the hell? All right, let's hit the music and let's get out of here, boys.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. Let us know what you think about Switch 2 pre-orders shenanigans, and if you managed to get one in.
Yeah, do everything he said and more. And if you like what you saw with us here, we do these live streams every Saturday about 6 p.m. Central Time, so you can come check us out then.
Make sure to also check us out at our Discord. You can join there, hang out with us, as well as check out the Patreon. If you want to support us there, we'd appreciate their support. As well as going over to Rogue Energy with their referral link down below. Use promo code Sparky3 to get 10% off your order. And Agent Inc. use their referral link there, as well as Sparky3 shop. Let us know your thoughts on Expedition 33 if you've checked it out or planning to, or checked out Oblivion. Or like Zach said, if you got a Switch 2, let us know, and let us know how difficult it was for you to get. We're back next week. Have a good one. Bye.